buttercup, you're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This time, we're taking a look at a college football playoff quarterfinal matchup. Got everybody talking. Oregon Ducks facing off against the Ohio State Buckeyes at the Rose Bowl. Now, what makes this game even more interesting, I think, is that it's a rematch of a regular season thriller that Oregon won by just 1 point.
Absolutely.
So can they do it again on a neutral field in the playoffs? That's what we're going to try to figure out today.
And you know what's fascinating here? I think the answer might lie in a factor that a lot of people are overlooking. There's a hidden key to this game, something beyond just the obvious strengths and weaknesses of each team.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. I love when there's a deeper layer to analyze, especially in a game as high stakes as this one. For those who might not be totally immersed in college football, this Rose Bowl, it's one of the most prestigious bowl games. And this game is part of the college football playoff, which determines the national champion.
Exactly right. To understand this hidden key, we need to take a look at both teams' journeys to this point.
All right, let's start with Oregon. They're in their first season in the Big Ten, finished the regular season undefeated, even winning the conference championship. That's an incredible achievement, especially for a team adjusting to a new conference.
It really is. I mean that their offense has been explosive, averaging nearly 40 points per game, and Dillon Gabriel has been exceptional at quarterback. But what's really interesting to me is that a few of their wins were nail-biters, including that 1-point victory over Ohio State earlier this season.
Right.
So the question becomes, is this a team that can consistently dominate, or have they been riding a wave of luck?
That's a great question. To answer it, we need to look at Ohio State as well. They had one slip-up against Michigan, snapped their undefeated streak, but then bounced back with a dominant win over Tennessee in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and that Tennessee game, that's where we start to see the real story here. Ohio State put up a staggering 63 points with their running backs, Trevayon Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, and Jeremiah Smith, absolutely shredding Tennessee's defense. Each of them scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I saw that game. Their running game looked unstoppable.
And that's where the key to this rematch starts to come into focus. If Ohio State's running game is operating at that level, it puts immense pressure on any defense. So to predict this game, we need to look at how Oregon has fared against powerful rushing attacks this season.
You're saying that Ohio State's rushing attack is potentially their biggest weapon, and understanding how Oregon's defense matches up against it could be the key to predicting the outcome of this game.
Precisely. When we look at Oregon's defensive performances this season, we see kind of a mixed bag. They've had some impressive showings, holding opponents to under 100 rushing yards in several games. But there have also been times when they've struggled against strong rushing attacks, especially when those teams have a mobile quarterback who can add to the ground game.
Okay, so are you suggesting that Ohio State's quarterback, whoever they start in this game, could be a factor here? We haven't even talked about their quarterbacks yet.
That's an excellent point. While Ohio State's strength lies in their running backs, their quarterback situation is an interesting wrinkle. In their win against Tennessee, they primarily used a dual quarterback system, with each player bringing different strengths to the table. One is more of a pocket passer, while the other is a threat to run.
So how does that impact Oregon's defensive strategy? They can't just focus on shutting down the running backs. They also have to account for the possibility of a quarterback scramble or designed run play.
Exactly. And that's where this hidden key I mentioned earlier comes into play. It's about adaptability, defensive adjustments. Can Oregon's coaching staff make the necessary changes to contain both the powerful running game and the unpredictable quarterback play of Ohio State? That's the million-dollar question.
You're making this sound like a chess match. It's not just about brute force. It's about outsmarting your opponent and adapting to the situation.
Absolutely. And remember, this game is being played at the Rose Bowl, a neutral field. While both teams have experience playing in big games, there's always an element of unpredictability when you take away the home field advantage.
So we've got Ohio State's formidable running game and Oregon's ability to adjust defensively. But what about Oregon's offense? They put up a lot of points against Ohio State in their first meeting.
Right, and that's where things get even more interesting. Remember, Dillon Gabriel, Oregon's quarterback, he had a fantastic game against Ohio State in their first meeting, throwing for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So is he the key to another Oregon victory?
He could be, but here's the catch. Ohio State's defense looked much improved against Tennessee. They held them to a surprisingly low score, and really shut down their passing game.
Interesting. So Ohio State's defense might be much tougher this time around.
That's the big question. Was their performance against Tennessee a sign of real improvement, or was Tennessee just having an off day?
So we've got Ohio State's running game against Oregon's defensive adaptability, and we've got Oregon's explosive offense against a potentially improved Ohio State defense. There are so many layers to this matchup. What stands out to you as the most crucial element?
For me, it all comes back to that hidden key, Oregon's ability to adapt defensively. If they can limit Ohio State's running game and force them into predictable passing situations, they'll have a much better chance of winning. If they can't adjust, Ohio State could run away with this game, literally.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects. But you mentioned earlier that there was a specific factor, a hidden key that many people are overlooking. We've talked about the matchups and the strategic elements, but you haven't revealed exactly what that key factor is.
You're right. I've been dancing around it, haven't I? I wanted to build up to it, to show you how all these pieces of the puzzle fit together.
You've definitely piqued my curiosity. So, are you ready to reveal what this mysterious X factor is?
I am, and it might surprise you.
Yeah.
Because it has nothing to do with individual players or statistics. It's all about coaching.
Coaching.
Yes, specifically the coaching matchup. Oregon's head coach is known for his offensive creativity and his ability to make adjustments on the fly. Ohio State's head coach, on the other hand, is more of a traditionalist, someone who likes to stick to his game plan.
So you're saying the outcome of this game could hinge on which coach can outmaneuver the other?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
In their first matchup, Oregon's coach made some crucial adjustments in the second half that caught Ohio State off guard. If he can do that again, especially with the extra time to prepare, during the playoff break, it could be the deciding factor.
That's a fascinating angle I hadn't even considered. So much focus goes to the players, but you're right. The coaching battle is often overlooked. And it sounds like this particular matchup could be crucial.
Yeah, it has all the makings of a classic clash of styles. Oregon's coach is adaptable, willing to take risks, known for his trick plays. Ohio State's coach is more about discipline, execution, and wearing down opponents with their physicality.
It's like a battle between a chess grandmaster and a seasoned boxer. Both of their strengths, but the one who can impose their style on the game will likely come out on top.
I love that analogy, and that's what makes this game so intriguing. You have two powerhouse teams with contrasting styles, and the coaching matchup could be the tiebreaker.
So considering all the factors we've discussed, Oregon's adaptability, Ohio State's rushing attack, the coaching battle, what's your prediction for this game?
It's a tough one, but I'm going to lean toward Oregon. I think their ability to adapt, combined with the potential for their coach to, outsmart Ohio State's, gives them a slight edge.
Yeah.
But honestly, this game could go either way. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Ohio State came out on top.
I agree. It's a game that could come down to a single play, a single coaching decision.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of college football. The stakes are high, the emotions are raw, and the outcome is often unpredictable. That's what keeps us coming back for more.
Well said. So for our listener who's about to place a bet on this game, or maybe just wants to sound smart at their watch party, what's the key takeaway? The one thing they should remember about this matchup?
Don't get caught up in the hype surrounding Ohio State's running game or Oregon's offensive firepower. Pay attention to the coaching battle. Watch for those subtle adjustments, those moments where one coach tries to outmaneuver the other. That's where the game might be won or lost.
That's fantastic advice. You've given us so much to think about, and I'm sure our listener is already dissecting this matchup with a new perspective. Thanks for guiding us through this deep dive.
My pleasure. It's always a thrill to break down a game with this much intrigue and potential for excitement.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Oregon versus Ohio State Rose Bowl showdown. As always, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the things that fascinate you.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.